What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Another Thursday, another episode of Simply Sessions. We've got Nico waiting in the wings for us to bring us the latest and greatest in everything Bitcoin. I'm going to follow up with number one, some free sats, and of course, your tech updates. Of course, I hope you guys are having a great week and plenty to talk about as always. Of course, this is live. Anything can happen. I defer to my friend Bill here.
Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
If you have not already, please do like, subscribe, share, all those things. They help a ton getting this content in front of more eyeballs. I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your Simply Session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, let's take a look at where we are in the market right now. This is timechaincalendar.com, and simultaneously, I'll pull up the chat. Everything you say in from now on will be live for the world to see. But we are sitting at $65,121 per coin. A single US dollar will snag you 1,536 sats. In terms of fees, next block 10 sats per VByte anytime, 4 sats, and Bitcoin mine 19.75 million of them. That's 94.09% of the total supply. We're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We will be back in just a moment. Bitcoin Well is on a mission to enable independence by being one of the easiest and quickest ways to purchase Bitcoin in Canada and the US. The best part about it, every buy goes directly into your own self-custody. They never hold your coins. You can add a Bitcoin address as part of onboarding. There's a transparent 1% spread, no hidden fees, no withdrawal fees. Plus they have KYC free sells and bill payments on their website. They're also a publicly traded company under the ticker BTCW on the TSXV. Check them out over at bitcoinwell.com. Check out my full tutorial on how to use them, and you can check out the links in the show notes down below and sign up today. CoinKite.com has some of the best hardware on the market today to secure your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and is my daily driver. And on top of this, they have plenty of other goodies, including the Mark IV, the Tap Signer, Open Dimes, the Block Clock, and much more. If you head over to their website, make sure you use code BTC Sessions at checkout to get a nice discount. Links are in the show notes down below. All right, we are back in. Let's bring in Nico. Yo, how's it going, man?
Yo, dude, we just spent this glorious time in Las Vegas. We roomed together, the real world suite. We saw some things the first day that we shouldn't have seen, and things happened. And now we're remote. Weird. Yeah,
stuff got weird, but you know, we survived. We survived to talk about Bitcoin another day. And here we are. So yeah, man. How is your trip back? You're weathering a hurricane right now.
Yeah, currently in a hurricane right now, but I'm a Florida man, so just the normal, run of the day, just hurricane day. Yeah, man, I got the midnight flight on the way back. So it was like a red eye. I got back to Miami at like 7 a.m. Slept the whole day. It wasn't as crazy as when I got that flight leaving Canada, Calgary, because, bro, I think you were getting me nice and toasty with those drinks you were giving me, brother.
Yeah, there was a few. I make a mean smoked old fashioned, and I think you had 3, maybe 4, and those are like double shots of whiskey, and it was not weak whiskey.
They were delicious. And no, it was not weak whiskey. I think I woke up like midway through that second flight with a hell of a hangover, but it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I'm glad to have you here, and let's figure out what's been going. Oh man, I saw this clip, so I'll let you preface this, but it just made my blood boil.
Yeah, dude, it's just crazy. You know what? Like, there's two sides of media. There is independent media, which is, in my opinion, the future. We're getting the vast majority of the views. Tucker, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Tim Pool. If you take a look at their numbers, they're absolutely they're destroying the legacy media numbers. So the legacy media is just continuing to ride on these coattails that they built over the last century. And it gives them this like air of legitimacy with these professional studios and HBO and CNN and et cetera, et cetera. But the reason that I believe that independent media has taken off the way it has is because, dude, we're telling the truth. We're not bullshitting. And this is the latest round of bullshit by a very, very popular broadcaster from the legacy media world, Bill Mayer. And I can't actually play you this video with the audio because it will get copyrighted. So I'm going to play the clip without audio and talk over it. But essentially, Bill Mayer is making the clip, making the case that a huge percentage of Bitcoin mining is a waste, and that 8% of the world's global energy, right there, it's in the captions, is actually being used by Bitcoin miners. That is utter BS in totally different way, in 10 different ways. Now, what I find extremely suspicious also is that this was community noted a couple days ago. That community note is gone now, right? So I think it's just a power, like it's a testament to the power of the legacy media. He's also making the case here in this clip that all the quote unquote emissions that these, so-called Bitcoin miners use. I mean, this is the power of social media. This is why they want to censor stuff, because if you just scroll, like so many people are just like debunking this. Of course, we remember the Pierre Richard video where he literally goes to a Bitcoin mining facility and he takes a CO2 counter, he puts it right behind the Bitcoin miners, and he's proving that Bitcoin miners don't emit any type of CO2. Bitcoin miners are like toasters. They emit heat. They emit a lot of heat. So this argument by Bill Mayer, he's not stupid, right? Like, this is a propaganda attack by the legacy media that I think we've learned over the last 5 years is really an extension to the approved narrative of nation states. So, this is just bullshit. And I just want to read some of these. Here's Troy Cross. Says, Bill, I share your concerns about emissions potentially erasing the gains we are making, but your facts are wrong and highly misleading. Bitcoin is not 8% of electricity use. It's 0.57%. And it only consumes the cheapest electricity, most of which is stranded in time or space. Using it helps to finance and balance the operation of a highly renewable grid. By the way, I also want to say that most of Bitcoin miners are powered by renewable energy sources, the main being hydroelectric. Here's Safedine. He says, make sure you stay away from Bitcoin. I can't read that next part. Preston Pish says, what a cloud show. Dennis Porter says, Bill, the real secret is that Bitcoin mining can be used to reduce methane emissions. We have the peer-reviewed research in a top 2% journal to back it up. So it just keeps going. Here's Bob Burnett, CEO of Barefoot Mining. And he says, your figures on Bitcoin mining and its electricity consumption and its impact in green media are grossly wrong. I'm happy to talk privately or publicly with you or your staff to review the facts. I don't think they're interested in reviewing facts. No. Because, again, we've combated this in 10 different ways. This was community noted, and the community note got taken down, right? So I would say the legacy media is a very, very, very effective propaganda arm of the official approved narrative. That's why you're seeing the rise of independent media, and that's why nation states all around the world are so hell bent on deplatforming and censoring independent media, because as long as independent media exists, then this isn't going to be believed. Where people aren't going to believe this, people are going to call out the bullshit. So anyways, shame on Bill Mayer. He knows better. They know better. I don't think they're interested in the truth. I think they're interested in selling the public on a narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think one of these comments here outlines it perfectly. The internet has democratized journalism, and no longer is there a monopoly on narratives. We're watching a species go extinct in real time, and yeah, that species is the people who used to be the singular source of truth. And now there is no more singular source of truth. People have to parse through many different places where they can get their information and decide what sounds to be the most right to them. And yeah, can individuals get it wrong? Absolutely. But in instances like this, again, you no longer get to stand on a soapbox with a megaphone and have everybody just silently listen. You have real-time reply guys everywhere debunking you when you're wrong. And you have an entire new set of media, people, individuals, as well as organizations that are more than willing to create rebuttals to exactly this and take the opposite stance and say, hey, like, this is where he's wrong. And that's great to see. Also, side note, that Pierre Richard video is so beautiful. And I loved I loved how angry some people got in the comments. He drew out the perfect rebuttals from people, because everybody said, hey, it's not that the miners are emitting CO2, it's that the energy source that they're pulling it from might be emitting CO2, which then begs the downstream question of, why is an electric car better than a gas-powered car? Right? It's like, if get angry at the grid. Don't get angry at the people using the grid if you're going to get angry at anybody.
100%, 100%. And he just, this whole thing, it is deadpan comedic genius, because Pierre was just complete serious face, like, let's actually take these emissions. And I just can't believe how he held in his laughter. And by the way, Putin the cereal, I'm definitely going to steal that for a tweet, because that was a really great comment, just letting you know. But yeah, like Pierre Richard just dropping the hot fire. But yes, this is the power of social media. This is internet. This is narrative trench warfare on the battlegrounds of the internet. Anyways, to address the title of today's video, here's Tyler Durden, Bitcoin OG, a huge following on Twitter. And he says, 8 days ago, since I called out the CEO of Baldbase. When he says Baldbase, he means Coinbase. 7 daily candles since, and not a single BlackRock ETF buy. This is because you, the people, now break the range and vertically teleport to $100,000. Now, the case that was being made was that Coinbase was rehypothecating the Bitcoin that the ETFs were buying, meaning when people were buying the ETFs, Coinbase was just selling them paper Bitcoin. Therefore, there was no upside buy pressure, right? And a lot of people were speculating that that's the reason as to why Bitcoin was chopping sideways, even though you had this tremendous amount of volume that was coming in. Do I think it's a coincidence that as soon as this was called out, and by the way, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how serious this was, BlackRock amends Coinbase custody agreement to require 12-hour withdrawals amid debt rumors. So BlackRock actually put pressure on Coinbase to say, hey guys, you know what? We're going to have to be able to withdraw that Bitcoin within 12 hours. We gotta, so it takes away their ability to sell Bitcoin that they don't have because they're on the hook every 12 hours or so. And of course, BlackRock is doing the right thing because they're protecting the legitimacy of their product in the eyes of the public. So I find this fascinating. And you know what caused this? It was Bitcoin Twitter. You know what caused this whole thing with Bill Mayer and him getting community noted, and actually the New York Times getting community noted? Bitcoin Twitter. So when I say, and look at that ratio, beautiful ratio, huge bit of beautiful ratio. When I say narrative trench warfare on the battlegrounds of the internet, I am dead serious. Like, this is the power of social media. You have your ability to make your voices heard to these otherwise very powerful legacy media institutions that we're all supposed to take super seriously. You now, as an individual, have the right to speak up. And that's why they want to censor you in the first place. Anyways, back to this. So here we have just an anon on Bitcoin Twitter, supposedly a Bitcoin OG by the name of Tyler Durden, referencing the Fight Club movie, calling out, hey, is Coinbase rehypothecating? And within 8 days, BlackRock steps in and says, hey, Coinbase, we're going to have to modify some of the operational frameworks and improve liquidity amid recent allegations. And coincidentally, look at what has happened to the price over the last 7 days. Isn't that quite interesting, right? And again, today's pump, you know what exchange went down? Coinbase, right? So,
As
you know,
tradition.
and I don't want to dox part of the Sessions crew, but you know who you are. We are no longer friends anymore because you put a bald head on the thumbnail. Okay, you did not put a tip. You put a bald head, and I blame you for that.
We're gonna, there's gonna be some reprimanding in the background here, some severe consequences.
Oh man. So yeah, any comments, thoughts on this, Ben, before I move on?
I mean, when you entrust an entity with so much Bitcoin, with so much, when there's so much responsibility, I mean, Coinbase, look at Coinbase's track record. A few years ago, how many years ago? 3, 4 years, maybe 4 years ago or more, I made a video when everybody was saying hashtag delete Coinbase. So I made a video on why. And I was just going to outline a few of the things, like the reasons why people were mad at Coinbase. That video was 30 minutes long for me to explain why people were so mad, because there was so much stuff and I missed a bunch of things. And that was 4 years ago. And so there's a long list of behavior of Coinbase that's not great. And to trust them to be custody as much as they are is unreal. And so, yeah, you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. You know, obviously BlackRock doesn't want to get jerked around either. But I mean, I think while it would be horrendous in the moment, one of the best things that could ever happen is a Coinbase rug pull, like for them to either intentionally or like probably not intentionally, but just like screw up bad enough and then try hiding it and then just having it implode. It would once again prove that there's just like a cascading. I mean, Odell's been in the Nostr chat here, and one of his quotes that I quite like is, we're just going to see a series of larger and larger rug pulls until people figure out how the fuck to act, right? Like how to actually custody their own shit, and like it's important. And so, yeah, I mean, it would be horrible if all the Coinbase Bitcoin got rugged, or a huge portion of it. The market would absolutely tank for a period of time, but more people would learn. So I don't know if we'll see that or not at some point, but
it would be the ultimate lesson, bro. It would be like the ultimate it would be, yeah, exactly. Someone put in the chat, Coinbase, the final capitulation. Also to Odell, yes, you finally peer pressured us to stream on Noster, Simply, and BTC sessions.
I've been doing it for a while, man.
Oh, you've been doing it for a while. Simply, I started doing it when we got deplatformed. And I was like, okay, Noster is like a real deal, and I made the effort to learn and how to do everything.
The Noster chat's bumping too. I'm getting there's like zaps coming through. Odell popped in to say hey. He put an interesting emoji in there that I won't talk about here. Yeah, anyways, it's I mean, it's only natural that people are gonna move to stuff like that when shitty platforms like YouTube are constantly trying to rug pull you. People are need to start examining their options there. So it's more of those emojis. I appreciate those. Thanks, Odell.
100%. So another thing also that I want to bring up as well is how much BlackRock continues to just continues to promote Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is they released a report. They released a report last week. And the name of the report was Bitcoin, a unique diversifier. You know how many pages that report was, Ben?
I don't.
9 pages. You know what? You know how many pages the Satoshi white paper was? 9 pages.
Yeah.
Do I think that's a coincidence? No. Now, moving on to my next point. Here is Robbie Mitchnick. He is the head of digital assets. Now, there is something in this 1 minute and 42-second clip that really stuck out to me. I'm going to play it at 1.25 the speed. Let's check it out.
How hard is the sell when you think about the retail investor base that can get into this? If you're trying to tell them it's digital gold, yet the volatility is still so high, and many people don't understand exactly what it is at the end of the day. Is it something that will eventually be used as more payment methods moving forward across different parts of the world? Is it something that you hold and never sell, right? How do you then make that case to a generation of people who have not gotten into this asset?
Sure. Well, when you think about Bitcoin, we think of it primarily as an emerging global monetary alternative, right? It is a scarce, global, decentralized, non-sovereign asset. And it is an asset which has no country-specific risk, has no traditional counterparty risk. So these are interesting properties when you think of it from an investment perspective, particularly in a world where there's growing concerns over money printing, currency debasement risks, political, fiscal, sustainability challenges in the U.S. or elsewhere. And so that resonates, frankly, with a lot of investors. It goes back to what we talked about earlier with the risk-on piece. It confuses investors when people talk about it as risk-on, because based on the properties that I just described, you would think of it as risk-off. And that's where I think
it has a marketing problem.
So you could say that. And
okay, so I'm going to pause it right there, because we've heard a lot of that other spiel many, many times. But the point that I want to focus on is the fact that you have the head of digital assets, Robbie Mitchnick. He said the quiet part out loud. And you guys know the deal. This is about the separation of money and state. He says that Bitcoin is a, quote, non-sovereign alternative asset. And if you take a look at the report that BlackRock dropped last week, the 9-page report, coincidentally the same amount of pages as the Bitcoin white paper, it says it again. Bitcoin as the first decentralized non-sovereign monetary alternative to gain widespread global adoption, has no traditional counterparty risks, depends on no centralized system, and is not driven by any one country's fortunes. I find this fascinating because essentially, for the first time, now all of a sudden, the incentives of BlackRock are no longer aligned with the incentives of central banks and governments. It's actually their incentives are more aligning with Bitcoin, right? And I'm going to reference Alex Gladstein's article, right? Bitcoin is a Trojan horse for freedom. Can't resist the NGU technologies, but people forget that the NGU technology is inextricably linked with the freedom enabling technology. And here you have BlackRock basically admitting that this is a non-sovereign money, a non-sovereign alternative. It's a better money. And could you imagine if you're coming from the government's perspective when you had BlackRock in your pocket the entire time promoting ESG for the better pass of the last decade? And then all of a sudden they're just coming in and they're saying, you know what? This Bitcoin thing is awesome. Inflation is a scam. The governments are printing way too much money. This Bitcoin thing is fucking awesome. So we're going to drop a 9-page report, which is coincidentally the same amount of pages as the Satoshi white paper. And we're going to admit that this is a better non-sovereign monetary alternative to fiat currencies, which are a scam, and Bitcoin is a flight to safety. That is crazy because it's coming from the world's most powerful, largest institutional asset manager in the world. That is where it's coming from. And this report is getting sent to every single large institutional investment bank on the planet and investor on the planet. And they're reading those same words, man. And these words read as if BTC Sessions put this report together. I mean, check this out. What Bitcoin made possible: fixed maximum supply, 21 million units, before money was prone to inflation and debasement. That's very inconvenient that they're admitting that. Difficult to transact across borders. Digitally native and borderless, permitting near instantaneous global transfers of value. 3, access limited to one particular country, controlled by a central authority. First, truly open access global monetary system. I mean, like, dude, if you're a government, like, it is not a good day for you when you see this. What are your thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, there's again, it's all the incentives, right? Like these BlackRock is not outside of the incentives of Bitcoin itself, and neither are nation states. You said it's like I put together the report. They missed the part about self-custody being super important. so
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they'll add that in the next report. I doubt it. I doubt it. But maybe they'll put something about diversifying custody because they got to get that shit out of Coinbase, man. Like, at least, like, okay, so when it comes to institutions, I feel like perhaps something like, well, there's two things that come to mind. On-ramp. So on-ramp is multi-sig that is, multiple institutions holding keys. So you can't have a single institution rug pull. So you'd have like a 2 of 3 and there's 3 companies involved and like no one company can rug. The other one would be what's being worked on with Miniscript. And I'm trying to remember the name of the company. Oh God, I'm completely losing it. Anyways, Becca from God, I'm forgetting the name of the company. Anyways, what they're doing with Miniscript and some of these like insurance products and everything like that is incredible. And I think a lot of that's going to be baked into the financial system that does choose to utilize Bitcoin, because it's going to have to, because we're going to get, again, larger and larger rug pulls as people trust singular entities to be the stewards of their coins, when realistically, like, if you're legally required to have a custodian, why not split the custodianship up amongst multiple entities so no one entity can rug pull that shit? Anchor Watch, thank you, Odell. Fuck. There we go.
Anchor Watch is dope. What they do with all the different multi-sig capabilities, where like the CEO has like different privileges and whatever. The Anchor Watch is dope. Very cool.
I sat down. I was in Madeira. I sat down beside Becca and I was like, explain to me what you're doing. And she talked at me for an hour, and I loved every second of it because she was so passionate about it. And again, she's just such and again, Rob is great.
Rob Hamilton is awesome. Great dude. And great. And it also just, again, like it's kind of needed because the way that you look at handling your company's treasury under a Bitcoin standard is very, very different than how you would handle it with a bank account. Right. And I think that's where Anchor Watch comes into play. Anyways, also breaking news. It's non-Bitcoin related, but I do find it absolutely hilarious. Costco calls out Diddy's lawyer for lying about buying baby oil in bulk at their store because they don't sell baby oil in bulk. Anyways, moving on to the next thing that just popped up randomly on my Twitter. I don't know why that was recommended to me, but I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Baby oil sessions now.
That was actually real. Yeah, a lot of things happen in Vegas. Anyways, I usually don't play with the Grok 3D image thing, but I was emboldened. I had a, what's it called? I felt
Compelled.
No, it's not compelled.
I have no idea.
When you're an artist and you feel inspired. I was inspired when I heard about this news. And why was I so inspired? So the Bhutan, the Buddhist Kingdom of Bhutan, apparently has 1/3 of their fucking GDP in Bitcoin. Like, that is nuts. That is crazy. Yeah. That is like, holy shit. Talk about balls deep. Okay, so here's the actual news. $828 million worth of Bitcoin. By the way, one of the things that I love about this, quote, unlike most governments, Bhutan's BTC does not come from law enforcement asset seizures, but from Bitcoin mining operations, which have ramped up dramatically since early 2023. So they didn't steal this Bitcoin. They mined this Bitcoin, which is awesome. Now, take a look at this. And again, I don't think this is a coincidence. Here's a traditional legacy media report covering this. Let's check it out.
Bhutan, the Himalayan kingdom known for prioritizing happiness over wealth, has quietly emerged.
Okay, did you hear that part? I'm going to play it one more time.
Bhutan, the Himalayan kingdom known for prioritizing happiness over wealth.
Come on now.
Bitcoin is hope.
The Himalayan kingdom, known for prioritizing happiness over wealth, puts 1/3 of their fucking GDP in Bitcoin. Like, you can't write it better than that, bro. Like, yes, they're prioritizing happiness because they have their wealth in fucking Bitcoin for sure. Anyways, let's check out the rest of this report. It's about 2 minutes.
Has quietly emerged as a major player in the cryptocurrency world, with $780 million worth of Bitcoin, which is nearly 1/3 of its GDP. Bhutan has become the 4th largest government holder of Bitcoin. Now, what's fueling the country's ambitions to become a leader in green crypto mining? Here's our report with answers.
Nestled in the Himalayas, Bhutan, a tiny Buddhist kingdom with fewer than 900,000 people, has emerged as an unexpected yet powerful player in the world of cryptocurrency. Known for its serene landscapes, happiness-centric philosophy, and commitment to sustainability, Bhutan has quietly amassed a significant treasure. Over 13,000 Bitcoin, worth approximately $780 million. For a country with a GDP of just under $3 billion, this is a staggering sum, making Bhutan the 4th largest government holder of Bitcoin globally. The Himalayan kingdom is only behind the United States, China, and the United Kingdom as it overtook El Salvador, Ukraine, and Germany. Unlike the United States and China, which gained their cryptocurrency through seizures and legal battles, Bhutan took a more proactive approach by investing directly in Bitcoin mining. And the nation's journey into the digital asset world has been led by its state-owned investment arm, Brrrrr Holdings. Now, even though Bitcoin, the world's first decentralized digital currency, was created in 2009, it has since evolved from a fringe internet experiment into a globally recognized financial asset.
All right, you guys get the general gist of it. By the way, I did the math real quick. If you divided the 13,000 Bitcoin evenly between the 900,000 people, each person would get 1.5 million Satoshis.
Nice. I mean, like, if you divided all Bitcoin globally equally, it's like 200 and something thousand sats per person. So like they've already quintupled the per person allotment.
It's crazy, man. I'm bullish on Bhutan, man. Yeah. Bullish on Bhutan, the Zen kingdom. Anyways, I do want to cover this because it is extremely important, and I do want to give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Nick Carter. He's done an incredible job, like kind of covering this in Operation Choke Point 2.0. And essentially, for anyone who hasn't been tuned into Simply Sessions, essentially it's been a combined effort by elements of the U.S. government to isolate the industry from the traditional financial system. So this includes the proposed 30% Bitcoin mining tax on Bitcoin miners. This includes Caitlin Long's denial of a federal banking charter, making her bank non-competitive with banks that do have a federal banking charter. This includes the arrest of the Tornado Cash developer, which set the precedent for the inevitable arrest of the Samurai wallet developer. This includes the flight of Lightning wallets leaving the United States. That's Operation Choke Point 2.0. Well, a smoking gun was uncovered. This is nuts. Check this out. Bombshell revelation that Silvergate was liquid and solvent when the Fed forced it to close changes everything when analyzed the March 2023 bank failures. Look at the dates. March 8th, Silvergate voluntarily liquidates. March 10th, Silicon Valley fails. March 12th, Signature fails. It goes on, the highlighted section says, however, the increased supervisory pressure on Silvergate and the other banks focused on servicing crypto asset businesses forced Silvergate to a point where it would have needed to remake its business model away from its focus on crypto asset businesses. It was a literal hit job, and I'll get to more in a second. Stop and think about that timeline. Think, would Silicon Valley Bank have failed had Silvergate not been forced by the Fed to close just 2 days earlier? Recall the bank run at Silicon Valley really got started on March 9th, the day after Silvergate announced it would liquidate. Reminder, Silvergate cost the FDIC deposit insurance fund nothing, but the subsequent bank failures cost the FDIC dearly. Silicon Valley cost $20 billion, Signature cost $2.4 billion, First Republic cost it $15.6 billion. Oh, and regarding the latter, JP Morgan bought First Republic and its stock price went up 4% on that news. The bigger got bigger. But zoom out. Would any of the above happen had the Fed not done to Silvergate what it did just days before? Who at the Fed did this to Silvergate? Who at the Fed is responsible for Operation Choke Point 2.0? Below is Nick Carter's Feb 2023 list from his Pirate Wires post. The Fed's names, Michael Barr and Michael Gibson. So here's basically the architects of Operation Choke Point 2.0. Here's Elizabeth Warren. Here's members of the Fed. And also something that the Winklevoss twins uncovered, because there was a recent enforcement action on Customers Bank, which was one of the last crypto-friendly remaining banks in the United States. The Fed went after them and basically said, hey, you can't onboard more Bitcoin and crypto-friendly businesses unless you get our approval, right? So Operation Choke Point 2.0 is still alive and well, and now we know for a fact that this is a hit job. This bank wouldn't have failed if it wasn't for the US government stepping in and sabotaging it. And what makes matters worse is now we know that there is collusion between Gary Gensler and the SEC and Elizabeth Warren. Check out this clip.
Senator Elizabeth Warren and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears the chairman didn't have any issue with these questions because Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email. Check this out.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does this sound like the path to financial inclusion to you?
Does it? Does it?
I mean, I'm going to leave it at that. Like, what was the point of asking? It was all a play. It was all Fugazi. He knew that he was going to be asked that question. She asked that question. She gave him the question beforehand, and it was all to make the industry look bad. It was all a play. It was all fake. It would, and again, these are supposed to be people that are holding these government bureaucrats accountable, but they're not holding them accountable. They're literally giving them the answers and the questions that they're going to ask them. Nuts.
This is it though. As with the prior story, again, like the government goes and fucks around and then like causes more headaches for themselves as banks implode. And I think this is kind of where we're headed, where it's going to look like Bitcoin's tendrils kind of get everywhere. And Bitcoin's going to seep its way, it's already seeping its way into the legacy financial system to the point where it won't be able to be extracted without toppling a lot of institutions in the process. It's getting to that point. And yeah, there's still other issues. There's still like attacks on self-custody. There's still all of that. But they won't. I think we're past the point of trying to kill Bitcoin, the asset, and now the next big boss is Bitcoin, the currency, which I'm very much in line with championing and wanting people to use it in their day-to-day. Because when you came to the SAT market, when you can go to your local butcher, or you can go to your barber, or you can get your beef and your eggs and your milk and whatever else you're getting, if you can get the necessities of life from people and send them sats and nobody can stand in between, that's when you're truly resilient. And I think that's important.
I saw a comment from Citadel's dispatch. Should we address it?
I don't know. I think it's just geese. I'm pretty sure those are geese.
Are you
right?
sure?
There's many geese in a row.
We could bring it up.
I mean, I'll leave that to you. You're the spicy news guy, so I'm the tech update guy.
Okay, off the top of my head, breaking news: Swan sues their mining division, which apparently broke off, and there's a huge lawsuit going on right now. Joe Carlasari is going through the details, but it seems quite interesting if you look into some of their financiers and the whole lot of it. Yeah, I just gotta last thing that I'll say is the day that Odell said that on Noster was the day that I resigned. Time that trade, baby. Anyways, guys, this was Simply Sessions for September 26, 2024. Ben, I'll see you next week.
Cool. Later, man. Awesome. Everybody stick around. Of course, give Simply Bitcoin a follow if you're not already following them. Number one, go hit up their Zap stream because they've been streaming on Noster. And I think, again, it's the time that it was always the time, but, support your Noster streamers and let's peel away from some of the legacy platforms, of course. But go check them out. Also, everywhere else they stream, they're on Rumble. They're all on the legacy platforms as well. So where you are, check them out. But of course, go check out the Noster. I'm going to be hitting you up with the tech updates. We got a whole bunch of cool shit that has come out this past week. We got a Samurai wallet clone that has just reared its head in the wild, which is very interesting. And we'll be covering that in a second. We're going to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. And when we get back right away, we're going to have a SAT giveaway over at Bitcoin Well. So get those Lightning wallets ready and you can have the chance to win some sats as soon as we're back. So we'll see you in just a moment. Keeper is a mobile Bitcoin application for managing and securing your funds for the long term. You can set up hot wallets for day-to-day spending or create digital vaults for deep cold storage. They also offer assisted multi-sig options as well as inheritance planning. And on top of that, Keeper boasts a long list of support for Bitcoin hardware, longer than I've seen for any other mobile application. You can check them out today by searching Bitcoin Keeper in your app store or heading to bitcoinkeeper.app. When it comes to peer-to-peer trading and lending, instant self-custody, and no KYC, HODL HODL is the place to be. You can sign up with just an email address, and once you're there, you can start browsing offers immediately, whether you're looking to buy and sell, or whether you're looking to lend or borrow. You can check them out today at the links down below. Speed Wallet is a Bitcoin Lightning wallet built with simplicity in mind. Spend and receive with ease, claim your own Lightning address, shop your favorite gift cards, and even earn rewards when you spend. Head over to speed.app to download the app on your mobile or desktop today and use the link down below to get 5,000 sats for free and have the chance to win even more. All right, we are back in, and before we give away some sats here, I gotta address something. Yellow wants to know: are you ready for tomorrow? Or am I sure for tomorrow? Yellow's going to be on the show. Yellow and Selly and Barry. There's going to be a clash of 58K gang versus Yellow, who just, for the love of Christ, wants it to get over $99,999. Yellow, the day will come. The day will come, but it's going to be a slap fight tomorrow. Anyways, we're going to dive in. We're going to give away some sats. Get those Lightning wallets ready. This is bitcoinwell.com. They're in Canada and the US. Great place to be stacking sats. And you can hit them up in the links down below. But we're going to be giving away some sats. Basically, the way it works is, when you sign up for a Well account, when you buy Bitcoin, when you refer friends, you earn points, and you can use those points to throw a coin in the Bitcoin wishing well, which can win you somewhere between 500 to 1 million sats. So we're going to do that. We're going to play now. We're going to throw a coin in the well, redeem 500 points, and let me expand this so people can scan a bit more easily. There's 500 sats for the first person to scan it with an LNURL enabled wallet. So congrats to whoever snipes those sats. If you do snipe those sats, be sure to let me know in the comments wherever you are watching the show. Love to see it. But with that, let's get into the tech updates. And actually, I'm going to stick here for a second because there's an update on Bitcoin Well that's kind of cool. So if you are a user of Bitcoin Well, they have swaps now. And swaps are, if you want to get from on-chain to Lightning or Lightning to on-chain, they just have a quick functional thing here where you can add a destination address if you want on-chain, and then it'll prompt you with a Lightning invoice, or vice versa, Lightning, and then if you want Lightning, you provide like a Lightning wallet address, like an LN URL, and it will do the rest of the work for you. So cool to see new features coming out here. Jumping over, OpenSats distributes 7th wave of Bitcoin grants. I'm going to rattle them off really quick. Kyoto, Minibits, DLC, DevKit, Cove, Nutmix, ASMAP, Floresta, and Assume UTXO in Bitcoin Core app. Congrats to the new grant receivers. Awesome to see. Boltz has now announced we've been cooking today. We are launching the Boltz BTC Pay plugin, enabling merchants to accept Lightning payments without the need to run a node, powered by liquid Bitcoin swaps. This is super awesome, actually. I'm really happy about this. Especially when we were getting fee spikes and everything, I defaulted to using things like Boltz and Aqua Wallet and other items like that to be able to use off-chain, like use the Liquid network, which is a sidechain of Bitcoin. There are trust trade-offs there, to be clear. But when you're in a pinch and you don't already have like a fat Lightning channel and have all your liquidity set up, this can be a trust minimized option for you in lieu of on-chain transactions. So I think that's kind of an awesome plugin. So basically, again, as they said, if you're a BTC Pay merchant and you're like, oh God, managing my Lightning node is really hard. And maybe you don't want to do like the Strike plugin or the Blink plugin that they have for full custodial, then this can kind of be your go-between where it's like, okay, I'll accept Lightning payments. It will go into a Liquid wallet, which Liquid you can have secured by hardware, and it's same kind of like XPub type setup. So you can do that without having to mess around with Lightning channels. So that's awesome. And then you can swap to Lightning whenever you see fit. So awesome to see that. And then Wasabi Wallet version 2.2.0, taproot receive addresses, free coordinators, and more. So what does this mean? This version of Wasabi Wallet comes with new features such as taproot receive addresses, faster transaction broadcasting, improved child pays for parent fee estimation, help with coordinator setup, and the ability to use a prune node in the backend and more. A significant change in this release is the discontinuation. This is the important part. The discontinuation of paying fees to CoinJoin coordinators to avoid unknown incentives and limit user risk. Only fee-free coordinators are now supported. To outline this a little bit better, this is a fantastic improvement because the protocol is now safer and cheaper for everyone. No more, trust me, I am a reputable coordinator. No more plebs don't pay, whatever that means. No more remix don't pay. No more friends don't pay. One hops don't pay. None of that nonsense. Now it's simple. You don't pay, period. This closes all the doors for malicious coordinators to try to trick the client into paying more than what they would want. Interesting. Okay. They also have, again, you can drop down, choose taproot receive addresses, faster transaction broadcasting. It also has some guidance on how to set up a coordinator. Before it was just like input your info. Now it's like, how do I find a coordinator? Yeah. And then again, free coordinators only. Interesting. So I did recently do a video on the newer version of Wasabi now that they've gone to 2.0. So I actually the show used to be sponsored by Wasabi Wallet when they were running their own coordinator in their business, and they had a whole bunch of revenue and everything. And then they started on-chain surveillance prior to allowing people to coin join. And I didn't know in the background when they were going to do that. I had no idea it was coming. And so one day I'm getting, people tweeting at me, what the fuck is this? And I had no idea. So that day, I parted ways with Wasabi Wallet. Not only did I kind of fired them as a sponsor, but I also stopped using Wasabi. Now, a lot has happened since then. We had the Samurai team arrested, and the whole Whirlpool coordinator just shut down. We also had Wasabi Wallet had preemptively, again, started doing the on-chain surveillance prior to allowing you to use their coordinator. They just sunset the whole thing. I think they just saw what happened with Samurai, and they're like, we want no part of this. Now they have no revenue or source or anything. But in the wake of that, what happened is you started to see alternative coordinators pop up in the wild. And so I wanted to re-explore now that these different coordinators were popping up, and some of them are being referenced on Nostr as like a way to be able to paste that information and not have it taken down. I wanted to explore that. So again, this isn't commenting on the efficacy of the implementation of the CoinJoin protocol itself, but just kind of what has happened previously with the whole Wasabi debacle. And with the software itself, by default, there is no coordinator. So you're no longer using the ZK Snacks coordinator because it doesn't exist. You are forced to go and use the CoinJoin coordinator of your choice at that point. And so that's what I outlined in the video. However, in also the privacy realm, this is very interesting. The game of privacy whack-a-mole has indeed begun. As I alluded to with the Wasabi and the coordinators that are popping up in the wild. We just saw a fork of Samurai Wallet pop up. I'm not sure how to say it. Hashigaru? Ashigaru? I'm not sure. Anyways, so this is very, very interesting. I'll just outline a little bit here from No BS Bitcoin. The first release of Ashigaru open source project's mobile wallet builds directly from Samurai Wallet's 0.99.98 app release, and their development work carried out up till the 24th of April 2024. Ashigaru Wallet version 1.0.0 comes with PayNim or Bit47 reusable payment codes support, onion routing over Tor, ricochet transactions, encrypted key recovery, post-mix and batch spending, stealth mode via decoy launcher, peer-to-peer coin joins, Stowaway and Stonewall, coin control features, and an advanced fee algorithm for determining a rate from unconfirmed transactions in the mempool. The first release, developers focused on familiarization with the code base, assessing and testing the development changes made by Samurai up to April, removing all dependencies on Samurai Wallet infrastructure, tailoring the UI and UX for dojo-only usage. This is important, dojo only. So the criticisms of Samurai before came from the fact that if you weren't running your own dojo, your own basically like node and all of the infrastructure necessary in the background, if you weren't running that on your own hardware natively, then you were trusting their coordinator. And in the process there, it was necessary for them to at least one time view your XPub in order to be able to proper coordinate and pull and pull addresses for which you would receive the subsequent coin joins. So if information, the worry was that that information was being relayed at all. If you're running a dojo, it was not being relayed. Well, with this one, this app requires you to run a dojo. You cannot use it without running a dojo. Now, I did look through, and the way that they kind of explain setting it up and everything, it is not super simple. But I'm gonna try my hand at it. I've got an Intel NUC here that I'm gonna repurpose, and I'm gonna turn it into a Linux machine and try my hand at some command line, which I haven't really touched in a long time, but here we go. So that's going to be a new little project for me, but nonetheless, I think this is super awesome. I do actually have a Ronin Dojo over here. I don't even know if that project is still continuing to move forward or if it's just quiet. It's been super quiet since May. I haven't seen anything. So I'm kind of unsure, but I want to do it from scratch. I want to do the command line stuff and just kind of see how it is. Hopefully there's like a GUI that comes out eventually. Anyways, really cool. My main point in and around this story, or I guess both of these, when it pertains to Wasabi, when it pertains to Samurai, and things popping up that were taken down before, I feel like Bitcoin privacy tools are in the midst of moving from their Napster moment to their BitTorrent moment, where Napster could easily just be shut off. You guys stop doing what you're doing. Whereas BitTorrent pops up, and sure, you can kind of like, shut down this website, but it keeps migrating, and people keep on building the same tools for people to utilize. So yeah, I think that's kind of entirely necessary. This was anonymously forked, the Samurai wallet. And so, yeah, I mean, that's great. And don't forget that there's other tools out there when it comes to CoinJoin as well. You've got, God, I'm totally forgetting what it's even called. I have it here. Join Market, Jam app. You can get that on your Start9, of course. Check that out if you haven't already. Anyways, moving on. Bolt 12 offers officially merged into Lightning specification. Big news today. Bolt 12 has officially been merged into the Bolt's repo and is now part of the official Lightning specification. Currently, 3 implementations support it: Core Lightning, LDK, and Eclair /Phoenix. This is the first new Bolt added since 2017. I love Bolt 12. It just makes it so much easier to do a number of things, but some of the main things here: onion messages, blinded paths, Schnorr signatures, BIP 340, pair proofs, Merkle trees, wire protocol, extensible native. More or less, you can have a reusable payment code, and anybody can just use that QR code or that string of text to pay you at any point in time. Super convenient, makes it a lot better, more private. Awesome. Moving on. This I was experimenting the other day, and this is something that I was playing with. So I sent a transaction from my Start9 Lightning node using AlbiHub, and I linked it to their AlbiGo app. And so explaining a little bit about what that is, maybe I'll just bring it up here. Here's AlbiHub. Okay, so AlbiHub is basically an interface to be able to interact with your node. And so here is a node. I've got a giant channel that I got from Olympus. And then, I've got some on-chain left over here. I've got some Lightning funds, which I'll probably swap into on-chain because a larger payment just came through there. And then I have a large receiving capacity. But basically, you've got a wallet. You can send and receive. I can link it to my Albi right up here in my browser. It's all self-custodial. And so the long and the short of it is I can also link my my wallet on my phone, so like Zeus or the new AlbiGo app. And you can just use this as however you see fit. And you can also do connections. I've got connections to Stacker News and Amethyst and my Primal app and Zap.stream, where this is streaming on Nostr right now. As a matter of fact, I've been getting zapped like crazy here throughout the show. And look at this. These are zaps from people on Nostr, like right now. That's Odell. That's Odell right there. But like these are being zapped over my AlbiHub directly to my Start9, my node sitting on my shelf behind me, and then I can instantly access it on my phone. How fucking cool is that? That's so cool. And it works amazingly. Like it's just smooth. It's not like it doesn't take forever to load. I hit the button on the app and it's just in front of my face. Why? Because it uses Nostr Wallet Connect. It's instant. It's beautiful. I've ranted about this over the past couple of weeks, but fucking hell, it's so awesome. So anyways, if you haven't tried AlbiHub, you should probably check it out. But yeah, so what did I do here? Where was it? There we go. So I sent a Lightning transaction from this setup, again, a fully custodial, self-custodied setup, and I sent it over to the Fedi app with a mint that the Bitcoin Mentor team, my team over at bitcoinmentor.io, all of the Bitcoin educators, we set up our own Fedimint the other day and got plugged into a Lightning gateway. And I was able to send from my full setup to a community setup that I did with all the gentlemen and ladies over at Bitcoin Mentor into a setup that then instantly like pegged in and received basically eCash from that. And anybody in the mint could send to and from each other with near perfect privacy, instant, no fee. And it's great for like small communities to maybe like initial onboard or again, add privacy, add like native apps. But the point is that all of this infrastructure was either set up entirely by me or set up in the context of a community altogether. And that is super cool. I was pretty excited about it. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to be diving more into building mints and all that kind of stuff over time. I think it's super exciting. Last few things. I just did a video on the Brains mini miner, home mining, more as a hobbyist type thing. Don't expect to make profit, but as a great learning tool. And you can solo mine and have a bit of a forever lottery ticket on your shelf, which I do now. So I'm solo mining with this thing. But it was a good time. I enjoyed it. And so you can check out that video. I've posted on Nostr. It's on YouTube. It's a bunch of places. And then tomorrow, of course, it's going to be a showdown. Yellow, Selly, Otherberry. Why are we bullish? We've got 58K gang versus Yellow. Yellow's fighting for his life as he has been for 3.5 years now. And maybe one day, Don't Stop Believing will come to a triumphant end. You know, the real bullish thing about this bull run is the sweet, sweet release that Yellow is going to feel on that final Don't Stop Believing. God. I mean, if we ever get there, it could be, 58K gang forever. Who knows? But nonetheless, I hope that Yellow one day tastes sweet, sweet release. But I won't be celebrating 100K. I'll be celebrating the salvation of Yellow. That's where it'll be. Anyways, check that out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And finally, I'm going to round it out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to everybody that enjoyed the stream. Of course, like, sub, share. Everybody over on Nostr. This was my most live viewed Nostr stream ever. And that's huge. And I've noticed a big uptick in the last few episodes. So I really do appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much. If you're over there on Nostr, make sure that you hit that little notification button and you follow the channel, which will help you, again, see super future streams. And I'm trying to, again, put more effort into utilizing that platform because I do think it's the future. I just think that we're very early, and I guess we got to bootstrap it. So again, everybody that came in and crashed the show and were commenting over there, really, really do appreciate you. Also, everybody that's been here in the live chat as well, and various other platforms, appreciate you guys. Please do like, sub, share. It really, really does help. If you want to help this show in another way, you can hit up the previously mentioned sponsors down below in the show notes. And finally, if you've been perusing the channel through the tutorials, you're working on leveling up as a Bitcoiner, you're trying to not be a Bitcoin Luddite, you don't want to just learn a couple things and stand still, you're trying to build your knowledge, but maybe you need some additional help, some hand-holding, reach out to my team over at bitcoinmentor.io. I've got aggregated an incredible group of Bitcoin educators, and they can help you through with anything when it comes to wallets, hardware, multi-sig, lightning, running your own node, home mining, whatever it may be. They can help you through. They can help you figure it out. So again, just reach out, bitcoinmentor.io, and you can book a free intro session to discuss what you would like to learn. And you can go from there. Anyways, guys, with that, I am out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, wherever you may be. I'll see you guys next time for your Simply Session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.